Hello, you're tuned into We Didn't Google That, hosted by Danny and Frankie.
So today's episode is called Should I Go to Art School? And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the decisions we've made and the things we had to consider before deciding whether or not we should go to art school.
I'm still asking myself that question.
Same, kinda. So yeah, last week we talked a bit about career stuff. You know the
Yeah, it's like an introduction.
yeah. But it had a little it had a little near future undertone. This is more of like the present. And yeah. So last week, you said something. You said banana randomly.
Kasi ganito, I'm not sure if I don't think it's like our generation's, should I call it a phrase?
Thing?
I hear my titos say same banana when they're talking about things. Like it's like basically you're saying same thing. That's essentially what it means. And I think you were saying you were comparing two things and they were like the same
I think
thing.
I was
So I
saying something
blurted
like
banana.
yeah.
It sounds so stupid. I thought you were gonna take it out, so I was like, okay, it's fine.
No, because okay, first of all, when I was speaking and I kind of heard you say banana, but it didn't register. It's like I told you when you look at your watch and then you see the time, like you see the
But you're
face
not
of your
reading
watch, but then you look away and you're like, what time is it? It's like it you didn't actually like it didn't register. So that was the thing when I heard you say banana, and then when I heard it when I was editing the audio, I was just laughing my ass off because it was so funny, and I was like, I'm gonna leave that there. It's gonna be so funny.
It's so stupid. It sounds stupid out of context. But now you know why I said it. See, we have this phrase where we go same banana. And,
But
I think it's
it's so funny because I've never heard you say that in real life.
Oh, you haven't? But then again, I
No.
usually hear it when I'm in training. So
Interesting.
that's all like men my dad's
Oh,
age.
training, yeah, because Frankie trains for
Oh yeah, I
Filipino
do
martial
Filipino
arts.
martial arts sort of. I haven't done it in a while because quarantine. My sister would also be like she doesn't go to training, but recently, so we have a bird.
I can hear
And
her.
usually-
Yes, Cotton.
Yeah, she's here. She's outside.
She was also in the last episode.
Yeah.
A constant
She's always
guest.
gonna be here.
Yep.
Pero ayun, my sister, it was like 12 a.m. So it was like really late. Everyone else was asleep. Tapos, she heard Cotton scream. And usually she doesn't, she's asleep at that hour usually, the bird. So my sister, she heard that, she thought, oh shit, who's outside?
Oh my
she
God.
went out. She grabbed a knife.
Oh my god.
Pero nothing was there. No one was there. But she had, the first thing she thought to do was to grab a knife.
I know the instinct.
Yeah. So we do have, the instincts
To I love that.
defend ourselves, I think.
I think.
And she doesn't even go to training.
Well, I guess growing up with you and your dad with sticks and swords around.
Yeah.
I think in times of danger, my the thing that my instinct is to call my mom or my dad. Like that's pretty lame for a 20-year-old in college, but like
We have to talk about birthday.
yeah, so today is July 4th. Tomorrow is my birthday.
Okay. You have to greet her now that you know it's her birthday.
Yeah, comment now. Thank
Yes.
you. Yeah, in the US, I guess July 4th would be Independence Day. But I think
Are they celebrating that?
I don't
think?
know. I don't think so. I think people on Twitter, POCs in the States, especially black people, celebrate Juneteenth on June 19th. Because that's their Freedom Day. Yeah, good for you guys. It's no, it's truly something to celebrate.
Yeah. It's not something that the entire country celebrates is what I've come
Yeah.
to understand. Like it's not recognized by the whole
Yeah.
United States,
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
I think they should.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. And like with us naman here in the Philippines, we have June. Was it when's ours?
June 12th.
I
It
don't
was
know when ours is.
June 12th, but ours
June
was
12.
July 4th for a while because I think we were still in.
We were colonized by America. There was there's
Yeah,
that.
that we were a territory
Yeah.
of the U.S.
And see, the thing about that is we were sold by the Spanish to the Americans, but we were told that
Oh.
we were being set free, which is why we have Independence Day. But it's
Yeah.
not really Independence Day because we were sold, so there's an issue there as well. Independence Day is weird.
Okay, so back to the podcast.
The topic.
Um, moving on. So, Frankie, what didn't you Google today?
So I have this rash.
Oh.
I have it. No, it's on my wrist. It's on my
Oh.
right, like, wrist. Like, you know the bone on the.
Which one, girl?
My prof is gonna be so disappointed when I say that
The-
I forgot what this is called.
The radius or the ulna?
Uh, the old one's the one connected to the
To the thumb?
elbow.
Oh.
The old one's the elbow part.
Sorry,
I hope
tama.
I'm
I think the
right.
the radius is the
Okay, so
the radius
okay, so
is
yeah,
the
it
thumb.
is the ulna.
Okay, so facing up would be the one, the inner one.
Okay.
Wow, we're so creatives. Except you actually took anatomy.
Yeah,
for-
we had to learn anatomy for animation.
Yeah.
It was really, I felt really smart. But anyway,
I
I have a
didn't. I have an
rash in that
excuse.
area.
Ooh, why?
And I don't know. I'm not sure if it's something I ate or if it's something I touched. But it's
Ooh.
like ew. But it's like you know those tiny little blisters?
Yeah. Ooh, I hate
Yeah,
those.
I usually get those like one or two of them at a time on my hands, like
Uh-huh.
on the backs of my hands.
Uh-huh.
But for some reason, there's like an entire clump on the side
Ooh.
of my wrist, and it's itchy when I don't.
I don't
put
know,
cream
maybe
on
it's it. it's the heat.
Maybe, yeah, I feel like it's probably the heat because I see more of them when it's hot.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the heat, but I didn't Google it because I don't want to worry myself.
Uh-huh. Do you have sensitive skin? I'm under the
Yes.
impression that you have sensitive skin.
Yes, we
Uh-huh,
are a
uh-huh.
family of sensitive skin.
Yeah.
What didn't you Google today?
So I was eating chocolate the other day
Mhm.
and I dropped it. And my dog
Oh no.
My dog is very quick. So
Oh, no.
I had to wrestle like to wrestle my way between chairs just to
Oh, God.
to reach him and then get it out of him. In the process, I hit my thumb, just my thumb. But I think I hit it really hard and bruised either a vein or just my
Ow.
thumb.
Oh no.
And I've had popped veins before. And before I had to get an endoscopy, like they put a camera like in my throat
Oh, yeah,
to see inside my stomach. And the nurse kind of popped a vein when they tried to put anesthesia through my hand because I was dehydrated. Okay. So yeah, the
Okay.
vein kind of popped and it was bruised for a while. And now I didn't Google if this bruise on my thumb is a popped vein or just a bruise. It feels pretty bad and it looks semi bad because it's kind of yellowish now. But I
Oh.
haven't
But
Googled anything about
that's a bruise
it.
thing to happen, right?
Huh?
That's a bruise kind of thing to happen for the patch
Yeah.
of skin to start
Yeah, but
becoming yellow.
yeah, but then
I don't
that
know
also
anything.
happened with my popped vein.
Oh.
But it was a big ass bruise. Like imagine the back of your palm. There's like a big
Uh-huh.
circle, and it was
Ooh.
there for like 3 weeks or something. So I don't know. I'm not looking it up. I'm in denial. It hurts sometimes, but I don't wanna. Yeah. I'm just
Yeah.
I hope it's not a big deal. Shh, it's not a big deal.
It's probably not a big deal.
So yeah, we're both in denial. We just don't want to know what's wrong with our bodies.
We're fine.
We're fine.
We're
Nothing
fine.
wrong.
Nothing wrong. Okay, so in the last episode, last week, if you were here, we were talking about the corporate world and not wanting to be in the corporate world, I think.
Or
But, you know, it was-
also being not
Yeah.
in the creative world.
Yeah, it's more that. Yeah. And we were also talking about how Danny is a visual artist at heart, you know, even though she pursues music, and I am pursuing visual art, but I feel within me there is a little writer.
Uh-huh. You know what?
Yeah.
It would be so it would be almost perfect if I'm a musician and I wanted to be a visual artist and you were a visual artist and wanted to be a musician.
Yeah, but I don't think, like, I'm a Leo. I've got the confidence, just not for that. Confused, but confident.
Exactly.
So we were talking about that, and a little bit about what we're pursuing professionally, which I just mentioned. Yeah, that's the brief recap.
Yeah. So again, this episode's called "Should I Go to Art School?" This is it. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about it now. This is what you came for.
Yes, I'm sorry. So I had a dream school. I think most of us, when we're in high school or when we're slowly nearing having to make a decision on
Yeah.
college, we all have like this with this one particular school we want to go to. So I had a dream school, and one of the main reasons why it was a dream school to me was because it had what I think I needed. It offered the course that I wanted to take, or was closest to what I wanted to take. Did you have a dream school?
My dream school, since the 8th grade, I think I mentioned it last week, is the same school that we're in right now.
Yeah, so you know, we achieved something.
Yeah, it was your dream school too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
I
was.
really am kind of proud of that. Despite all the things that I don't like about
Yeah,
not
there's
the
always
school.
gonna be something.
Yeah,
I
but
think.
not the school per se, but like just the situation
Like systemic
with school and like everything.
Stuff. Yeah.
I'm still pretty proud that I got into my dream school. Woo.
So you said you made your decision in 8th grade. I kind of decided pretty late.
Oh,
I
right.
think-
Right, you weren't
Yeah.
supposed to take up arts and design
Uh-huh.
for senior high until like
So
you
when
had to
I was in
change your...
senior high, I was thinking I'm gonna take psych or literature. I think literature was in literature was in the cards. I think
Uh-huh.
at the time, but then I met my friends.
That's us. Oh wait, no. No. That was
First, it was Ernest.
yeah,
Actually,
yeah,
it was
sorry.
Ernest.
Not us yet.
Ernest again. Shout out to our friend
Shout out
Ernest.
to you and Aram.
Oh, and Aram. So they were my friends at the time when I decided I kind of want to take up art maybe. So
Uh-huh.
I basically had an entire plan fleshed out for taking psych. I had like plans for undergrad. I had plans for after that, what I wanted to do with my life after that, and then I thought, nah, this is boring. I'm gonna do the other thing.
Uh-huh.
I threw it all away, that entire plan
Good.
for art.
Well,
And I mean, it's I'm having fun.
yeah, no, look, in the bigger scheme of things, I'm glad I'm a creative.
Yeah,
That's
same.
something I can say.
It's tricky. I would never say it's easy because there's no like set way to go about it.
Uh-huh. But you know, that's why we're here. That's what we're gonna talk about today.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are just the things that you should consider. if
Or at least
and
what
when
we
you should go
considered,
to
and you know.
art school. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
dream school. The next would be if you know you the next would be you should do a little more research about the community in
Yeah,
your
community
university.
is a big thing.
So our advisor in the 12th grade, shout out to Sir C. Um, yeah,
He was our advisor
yeah.
at senior high.
He said, so I was telling him that I think I needed him to sign something for my UP University of the Philippines application because I applied there too. It was also kind of my dream school. I mean, I guess I wouldn't have applied to any other school if I didn't want to go there.
Mm.
But I think our university was my priority. Anyway, so I asked him to sign the thing, and then he told me, you know what? I think you're gonna fit in there, and I want you to be there and everything, cause, you know, you're like a what was the
A
word?
good fit.
No. He said something like, you're so strong-willed. You're like an activist, basically. Like, you don't conform, and you stand up for yourself, and that's what the students there are all about. And you know, it's very queer friendly. So
I
yeah,
love Cersei.
community is important because
Yeah, because they sort of become your family in a way.
yeah, like I don't
Yeah.
want to be going to school every day and the people around me, even the strangers, or people that I just don't vibe with. um
I mean, you won't vibe with everyone, but
yeah,
you know,
but there's
it does make things better.
there's an atmosphere. There's just this
Yeah.
energy that's sort of harmonious in a way despite its differences.
Yeah, because you're like surrounded by people who are kind of pursuing more or less the same thing.
Yeah, and I am
And
so
that's
I
the
cannot
energies.
express my gratitude for our university separating the similar courses into buildings
Yeah,
because our university
it
has
concentrates the energies.
yeah,
I
our
think.
university has an art building that's just for arts, and like it's a completely different world when you go to the main building or the other building that
Yeah, it's a completely different kind of energy,
yeah, so
atmosphere.
most of the time we're just in the art building. So when you get there, it's like wow, I'm meant to be here, and
It's like-
the people around
It's
me
like
are,
in The
you know,
Sims with the lot trades. It has
yeah,
the
oh my
art
god,
studio lot
yes,
trade. It's a studio home lot trade.
yeah. Oh, and bitch, our building is friggin' quiet in certain places, and I love that.
Yeah.
Like
oh, yeah.
I love that sometimes people are just avoiding each other.
It's got a very focused kind of energy.
Yeah, and you're allowed to be weird. Like no one really stands out if you're weird. Like if you're being like extra, you kind of just blend in with everyone else because everyone else
Yeah.
is being weird and extra, and I love that.
That's something that I think, but I'm not sure because I only go to one art school. But I feel like it's something that's common in art school. So if you want like that kind of energy, that kind of community,
Mm-hmm.
and like if you know that it helps you, I think yeah, maybe you should consider that.
We're not saying that you aren't gonna get weird looks sometimes, but most of the time,
Yeah, like definitely
not-
on the commute, people are gonna stare at you.
yeah. But no, but
Yeah.
also like there are students who are especially like new and didn't expect like no, because other people have classes in the art school, even if they're not art majors, right? So sometimes they're like,
Yeah, yeah.
oh, it's like this here.
Ooh, what are these people?
yeah,
The
who are they
animation
and
program.
why are they like
actually,
this?
People keep talking about how, in our school, people keep talking about how the animation program has the weirdest students.
They are. I'm so sorry, but I will
Fair-
admit.
Yeah, that's a fair observation, but you know, we're fun.
No, I will admit that my music friends and I have done art art building hierarchy. Like who
Oh,
are the
God.
coolest people at the top and who are the and I'm so sorry, but the animation program is kind of at the bottom.
Yeah, there's a lot that
Uh,
there's a lot there that we have to unpack that people
yeah.
aren't ready for.
Yeah, no,
But
this
we're
is for
fun.
a whole other episode.
Yeah, it's for
I might
another
even just
episode.
cut this out, but like,
Yeah, because we might.
yeah. So, yeah, Dream School and community. What else?
Offerings. You gotta consider that because why would you go
Mhm.
somewhere where they don't have the course you need?
Mhm.
And when you live in places like where we live, there aren't a lot of offerings. Like, there's not a lot of specification, specialization, especially in creative fields. So, your options are pretty limited sometimes,
Yeah.
especially here because of that. So, yeah, you really gotta consider what that art school is offering, and compromises, you kind of have to make them. It's
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
up to you whether or not, like, the compromise is too much, or but yeah.
Yeah, cuz I think we mentioned last week that Frankie is a scholar. I too, by the way, am a scholar. And
Wow, your hosts are scholars.
yeah. But some of us, a lot of us in our university can't study if we aren't scholars, because it's
Yeah.
college. I think anywhere is expensive. Depends. I mean, yeah, it's expensive.
It's a big investment.
Yeah, it is.
Not everyone can afford it.
Even with student loans, it's still
Yeah.
gonna be expensive. So being a scholar is like a huge blessing, but it's also our work. And because my scholarship is I'm part of our university's resident choir chorale, and we're kind of like, we have an international reputation, I would say, because our group travels a lot, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But that just means I have to a lot of my time, a lot of my time to practices and performance, and then it compromises my learning experience in
Yeah.
a certain way. And but I love it, and group singing is really one of my deepest passions. I really love being a part of that group. But yeah, it just means I have a little more extra work to do than
A little.
yeah, than my
It's a
other
lot more than a little.
peers. And
Yeah.
I guess my scholarship, my grant, I guess, is the salary. I would say, but
Yeah, yeah.
that's the incentive. So yeah, we do kind of have to make compromises. And Frankie's scholarship, if they have a grade lower than whatever, you
It's
lose
not
it, right?
that bad. Like, yeah. Or, well, I'm not sure. Yeah, we were in the briefing. In the briefing, we were told if you go below that certain GPA, you lose the scholarship.
Uh huh.
Either that, I think, or I think you need to pay for the course that you need to repeat.
Jesus.
I'm not sure, and I'd rather not know. I'd rather not get to the point where I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, scholarships are great. They allow people to go to college when otherwise they can't. But it's also a compromise because you need to do something in exchange for your education. But
Yeah.
mine isn't that bad, I think. It's just, as a scholar, you're kind of not allowed to fail.
Yeah. Thankfully,
isn't
our
fun.
our university's scholarship office is a little more forgiving.
Yeah,
But I think after this pandemic, they aren't gonna be, because
yeah,
yeah.
there's gonna be changes.
Yeah.
Changes.
Anyway, yeah, compromises also because
Pretty much by default.
yeah, you know how Frankie's like an animation major, but she didn't want to. She still doesn't want to be.
Yeah.
That's not the road she wants to take, but she's taking it because
Because it's the closest one
Yeah.
to where I want to go.
yeah, exactly.
It's fine. I've
But yeah,
learned a lot.
it's a compromise, but at least you're learning.
Yeah, at least I got something.
There's yeah, okay. So yeah, the dream school, your community, and check the offerings. And lastly,
Make sure they have what you need.
Yeah. Lastly, you have to exhaust all your options. Make sure you come up with a backup plan
Yeah,
because
make sure you look into everything
yeah,
that's available.
yeah. So Frankie only applied to one university, and I
But
really
listen,
would not recommend that. I
yeah,
still
I would not recommend that either. But I did do my research, and the most accessible place for me that met my standards in terms of what I needed was the only school that I applied to.
yeah, but I really cannot do that. Like, I could
Yeah.
be confident and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna pass. This is gonna be fine." But no, I could not. No, that's just gonna eat me up. So I couldn't do that. But also,
I
let's
wasn't
say,
really thinking that way, I think, because when I applied for colleges, I wasn't thinking like I have to get to college. It was more like, okay, if I pass for the scholarship and I pass for this one college that I am applying to, then yay, I'm going to college. Otherwise, I won't. I'll
yeah,
get to work or something. That was my mindset, I think, because where I'm going, I don't really need the degree.
yeah. Um, it's not like I was pressured into going to college. I knew it was something I wanted, and that is something you should also consider. Like, if you
Yeah, whether or
really
not you
want to
want
go to
it.
college, then you go to college if you can.
Yeah, because a lot of us grow up thinking we need to go to college, but not
Yeah,
every single industry or
yeah.
path
Honestly,
requires you
you
to go
kind
to
of don't. It's
college.
just college is just one big workshop, or like a
Yeah,
series of multiple workshops for art school.
and
That
you
is,
take them
I can't say the
all at
same for
once.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I applied to three different universities, right? I passed two of them. But let's say if I didn't pass all three, I think I would have gone to our previous school. So we went to St. Paul, and
Woohoo!
they offered 11th and 12th grade, but also they offered music courses and other tertiary levels. So yeah, they had music, and I thought, if I fail all three universities, I can just go to St. Paul because they didn't require their past students to take
To
the
reapply.
admission
I mean,
test.
to,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I at least had a backup plan. I was pretty much secure by the time we graduated, and
Yeah, I
I
don't
knew I
recommend
had
what I did.
somewhere to go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Unless you're a Leo, like no, I'm kidding. Um,
If you're a Leo, it's fine.
yeah, no, but I'm just really, I just want to take this opportunity to say that, although I did, try kind of prepare for the worst, I guess, and the worst
It
being
is a good
me not
practice, though,
being,
yeah.
yeah, admitted to any other university. I would say that I am a pretty lucky person, and I don't say that to brag. Like, sometimes I just don't do anything at all, but somehow the odds turn into my favor, and sometimes it feels like I don't deserve it. I'm a slacker.
Nah, I feel like no, you feel like you're a slacker, but it's the same thing with like when I got the news that I got my scholarship, that I passed for
Mm-hmm.
it almost felt like the person who was accepting the scholarship wasn't the same person who applied for the scholarship and did all that work and like
Mm-hmm.
prepared the application forms and the requirements and the portfolio and the interview. It didn't feel like I was the same person.
I get that. I get that.
So yeah, so I'm pretty sure you're not slacking. It's just that you don't feel like you're the same person who did that work to get to where you are,
Oh, that makes sense.
right?
Okay. I'll
That's how
accept
I
that.
felt. You're welcome.
Um, yeah, okay. Thank you. Yeah, so things to consider: dream school, community offerings, and a backup plan.
Definitely a backup plan.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had like some experience going to art school at this point because we're second year students,
Or
right?
almost third year students, I think, yeah.
Are we?
Because the third term's cancelled na.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we've had experience.
Technically second year pa rin tayo next year, but
Yeah,
third
because
year
it
with
wasn't.
second year subjects.
So we're past their first year. Let's just say
Yeah.
that. And we have had some experience with going to an art school and being a student in an art school. So we wanted to talk a little bit about the pros and cons of being in one. You
Yeah.
know, for those of you who are still like on the fence
Yeah.
about whether or not to go, or if you just want, or if you are in art school and you're looking for something relatable to listen to, maybe.
Yeah. And this
Here
can
we
kind
are.
of prepare you. This can kind of prepare you.
Yeah.
And so you know what's to come.
Yeah.
You also have the option of not listening. I think some of the things we're gonna say today are things that in the back of my mind I already knew, but I
Yeah.
was just like, nah, it's gonna be fine. No, it's not. Um, it's not like rainbows and daisies or anything. Art school is.
It's not gonna be exactly what you
I
expected.
feel like it's kind of like purgatory. It's
Yes.
it's
See, listen, you're
yeah.
gonna have to do work and you're not gonna be paid to do it.
Oh yeah.
But you will be in the future.
Hopefully.
You're studying for
I
that.
hope. I hope anyone who's
I hope
listening
all
right now.
of you listening.
I hope anyone who's
will get
listening right
paid.
now, who will go to art school and already are in art school, will get to do art in the future
Yeah, and,
be paid for it. Yeah.
properly.
Mm-hmm.
That's also an issue.
Okay, so pros and cons.
Pros and cons. So, in art school, you're gonna be taught discipline. I mean, discipline is something that is dependent on the individual, is dependent on the student. But when you go to art school, it's really gonna be a lot about discipline,
Mm-hmm.
because there's deadlines, there's a lot of work, and that work has to be quality work. Like, for example, I'm an animation student again, and I had a life drawing class. And
Oh, did you? I didn't know that.
yeah,
I
it was.
love that.
I loved that. I loved that subject, even though it was hell. It was one of my favorite subjects. Basically, life drawing is where you have a model. Sometimes they're clothed, sometimes they're unclothed. And listen, that's for anatomy.
Wait,
There's nothing wrong
did you
with it.
draw nude models?
No, we don't get
Aw.
nude models in school.
Damn.
But anyway, a life drawing is basically you have a model and they pose for you live and you draw them as best as you can. And there are like all these principles that we have to keep in mind and all that. So for that class, we had to draw 1,000
Oh, I
1,000
remember. God.
poses. And that was like for, I think it was for finals. I'm not sure if I'm remembering correctly. So we had to draw 1,000 of those, and we had to do that in the span of a couple of weeks. And you have all these other subjects going on as well. You have all these other deadlines, and you have to do 1,000 of these drawings. It's just,
Yeah.
that's a lot of work, So
Didn't
that
you have
it really
friends who,
teaches you
like-
discipline.
Yeah, didn't you have
Friends.
friends who like skipped a few numbers? Cause your prof wasn't
Yeah.
gonna count like, oh, it's not
Don't tell
1,000. I
them.
only
But
see
yeah, yeah, yeah.
999. What?
Yeah, there would be like 501, 502, 503, 510.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
But there are profs who will count it, so
Oh god.
so
But,
there's that.
yeah.
It really will. Art school really will teach you discipline, and with that.
Whoa, I wanna
With-
say something.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Say your
people
something.
don't know this. But actually, the art courses, the art programs are actually very academic. It's more
yeah.
academic than you think. You'd think it's all product based, it's fun and this and that, but no, there's actually a set of rules you have to follow, and a set of rules you have to learn and break.
Yeah.
I can say that about music. There are rules in breaking the rules and how to break them, and if you're breaking them right. I think that's why in our university for first year, all we learn is music theory, or the things we learn is mostly music theory and history before we actually go to do the productive. To the before
The
we actually
music
go to the
production part.
product based stuff
Mm. In
because
animation, then
yeah.
we had like in the first year it was all fundamental subjects and
Mm-hmm.
history and
Mm-hmm.
principles.
I guess that's how it's gonna be like for other art schools too, but
Yeah.
I can see clearly why that had to happen for us to learn
Mhm.
the other stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like you can't pursue something without knowing the history of it. So that's important too.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, and how other people did it throughout history is also
Yeah.
important.
And that's, you're and in music you're already, if you're pursuing music, they're already expecting you to kind of know
Kind of know.
to
Yeah.
kind of know what you're getting into in terms of discipline, like
Yeah, yeah.
your work ethic is very
Mm.
important because
Mhm.
I don't like if you're a musician, you're bound to work with other people, even if let's say you're a
Yeah.
solo artist. And if you're hard to work with, you're not gonna get work.
Get work. Yeah.
So, again, community.
Mm. Oh
So
yeah, we
it's
forgot to
important
talk
to
about that.
interact with,
Yeah.
with people
That's something
with
we learned in
discipline.
senior high as well, because our senior high is kind of disorganized.
Yeah.
But we had the performing arts students with the visual arts students, so everyone kind of learned
Yeah.
how to work together and how to communicate, which was
Oh yeah,
really
that was,
important,
yeah,
I
no,
think.
no, no, that was very cute. We had, so I think our final outputs were
Our
like,
final project.
for example, mine was like an EP because I'm a solo artist. I was
What was my final project? Oh, the portfolio.
yeah, I was a so I was a solo artist for 12th grade because I kind of had to be. But the person who did my cover art was Denise Terreno.
Oh
She's a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
great
Mm.
photographer. And
Graphic
Piolo,
designer, I
yeah,
think
and
you can
Piolo,
say that.
Piolo, our friend, I said Piolo like 8 times. And Piolo, our
Piolo,
friend,
Piolo.
did my music video. And so,
Yeah.
it was great having to merge our fields together.
Yeah, it's really important. That's one of the most important parts about the community aspect of going to art school. I
Mm-hmm.
think is just learning how to work with other creatives, because you are going to need to work with other creatives,
Yeah.
even if you go like what Danny said, even if you go into solo,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
or even if you go into like say on my side freelance, you're still gonna need to work with people.
Uh-huh.
That's a non-negotiable.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you need the
Woo!
discipline and the work ethic, and the worth ethic, and the
Work.
work ethic. So yeah,
Oh, we need to go back to discipline.
yeah,
Yeah,
discipline and work
sorry.
ethic. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, with discipline comes burnout. Sorry, but
Oh god,
that is very very true.
and that's on the
Um,
top of our list in the cons because I think that's gonna
yeah,
be something you're gonna experience
in
most.
art school,
I would
very
say.
yeah, because you're gonna be taking several subjects, especially if you have, I guess, terms that you need to follow where you need to be taking a certain number of units. Like I have to take a
Mm-hmm.
certain number of units per term to keep my scholarship. So
Mm-hmm.
burnout is pretty much, I think, unavoidable when you go to art school, because in art school you're really drilled to work on your craft every day.
Yeah.
It's very much like with us. It's always like you gotta draw every day, or no one will hire you.
Yeah.
It's very that. But
Mm-hmm.
breaks are very important. That's something that you really need to learn early on if you want to either prevent burnout or minimize it as much as possible.
Yeah.
You gotta learn to take breaks. Because discipline is important, but you gotta keep you working, like
Yeah.
mentally.
So, um, if you set high expectations for art school and yourself, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, because we've all been there.
Mhm.
Um, you should know that things aren't gonna be the way they seem at first. Because let's say, music is something I've always thought I was good at. I mean, at least, to a certain
Mm.
extent. Then you get there and music just becomes everything and it becomes work. The art you choose just becomes work, and
Yeah.
you're gonna get really tired, I think. And the way I viewed high school, the work I put into high school was like, this is so da, 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 da," and I hated every second of it. And music was my escape, but now music became my school, and
Yeah.
for a while there was no escape. I just I wasn't enjoying what I was doing,
Mhm.
and sometimes I still don't. I get frustrated very easily,
Yes.
and I wish I prepared for that more.
Yeah, so
Um,
do I.
but yeah, it's gonna happen. But then that's not. I feel like that's not a reason for you to stop. To
Yeah, or a
to
reason for
just
you to not
stop and
go for it.
yeah, because you're already here. Yeah, you might as well. And I feel like I'm still hoping, because we haven't graduated, but I'm still hoping that it's gonna be worth it, and
Mm.
it's not gonna feel that way forever. And
Yeah,
it
yeah.
really helps when I'm with my band and I'm performing and I'm doing something
Hmm.
I love. And there are
Danny
moments.
has a band.
Yeah, I do. There are moments when I feel accomplished as an
Mhm.
artist, or when it feels nice. So you will have good there will be good parts in the journey, but there will also be like parts where you just want to give up, but it's important that you don't.
Yeah. You can take breaks, but don't give up.
Yeah.
So there's that. Let's talk about something a little bit more positive. On the pros, you have friends.
Yes. So yeah, friends are great. You may find your bestest friends in college, or
Yeah.
if not, you can kind of strengthen your bond with your pre-college friends when you
Yeah,
learn
yeah.
to you kind of appreciate them more once you get
Yeah,
to
when you
know
find all
your
these other
college friends.
people.
Yeah. It's been both for me. So,
Mm-hmm.
one of my more solid friends in college is, my band.
Yeah.
And you've met her, my friend Bia. You had a class with her.
Yeah. I
It
wish I
was
got to talk with her more.
yeah, no, no, no.
Hi,
She's really
Bia. If
nice.
you're listening, I think you're cool.
Oh, yeah, she is. Um, no, the thing is, it's so weird when we go back and realize how short we've known each other, but it's like we've known each
Yeah.
other forever. And it's also the same with us.
Yeah. My
Um,
brain tries to find Danny in my memories before senior high school.
yeah.
I try
And
to
it
look for you subconsciously in my grade school memories. You're not there.
no, but the thing is, I was telling you the other day that I have memories of you and I interacting but not being friends, and it's just
Yeah.
weird. It's like that's not me and that's not you. Like, yeah. But
It's
yeah, my
interesting how close you can get to people
yeah.
in art school
Mm-hmm.
and in senior high because it was sort of like art school for us, I think, because we
Yeah,
were
it was
in
like pre-art
arts
school,
and
like a
design.
whiff of art school. Yeah. So I was really sad when we graduated from senior high because I knew that I wasn't
Yeah.
gonna be with you guys every day.
Mm.
And that really bummed me out, and nothing could have prepared me for that. But with the time we've spent apart, I think we've had a lot more fun getting together after college, or I mean after senior high.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it kind of made it more special in a way.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, there are a lot of people in my university that I don't like in in my course, especially because I know them, and I've worked with a lot of people that would be
Yeah, I get
that
that.
that would be so shitty to work with if we were
Mhm.
in the same senior high. And I got to appreciate you guys more because wow, like we work so well together, and we did do our academic stuff together, didn't we? In
Yeah.
senior high. So I appreciated you guys more when I got to work with other people in college because like wow, they would never do me like this.
So that's
So
on friends. You really will. Art school is a great place to find friends. Don't
yeah.
expect that you'll get along with everyone,
Oh no.
but
Mm-mm.
you'll find some really good people there. But you don't need to go to art school to find good people, I think.
Yeah.
It's
Um.
just, it just happens to be that it's a concentration of people who are more likely to be your friends.
Yeah. Being in art school and having friends, you won't have as much time for your friends depending on
Yeah.
what your priorities are, and it should
Mm-hmm.
be your academics in art
Oh,
school.
and what your friends' priorities are too.
Yes.
Yeah. You gotta put value there.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess a con would be time.
Mm-hmm.
College really does take up a lot of your time.
Yeah. I've had to bring one of my research papers to vacation once.
Oh yeah.
So there's an example of that. I was with family. It was supposed to be a really good time with family, but I had deadlines, so I had to bring my all the books that I was using for the research and
Yeah.
all the materials I needed. So yeah, it does take up time that should be spent on other things sometimes.
Mhm.
Which work will do that too, but I feel like school kind of gives less of a shit
Yeah.
because it's all happening simultaneously, and there's like this schedule that everyone in the institution needs to follow. It's not
Uh
like you
huh.
can say no to it. Unlike
Uh huh.
with sometimes with work, you can say no.
Yeah.
You know.
I have really bad time management.
Mm.
Ever since the world began, um, I've always had bad time management. So if you could work on that, that would be great. But I would be a hypocrite
Yeah,
if
you're gonna
I
need
said
to.
something like, "Oh, you should blah blah blah." No, I've been getting through college and most of my life with bad time management, but it's still something I need to work on. I think
Yeah, I think it's
that's
something everyone is gonna be working on
that's a yeah, that's a horrible
for
trait
a
to
long
have.
time.
Don't have that. Please have better time management. Don't be like me.
And when we say time management, we don't mean fill all your hours of your day just doing work. That's also not gonna work. You're gonna need to take
Yeah.
breaks. Again,
Yeah.
you don't want to burn out. Take
Mhm.
breaks.
Mhm. Mhm.
And another thing with time, if the thing you're taking up isn't completely aligned with what you know you want, it can feel like a waste of time.
Oh yeah, that's gonna
So,
suck.
yeah. So, going back to offerings, make sure that the school you're wanting to go to has something that's at least close enough to what you want to be doing, or something that you can apply to what you want to be doing when you
Yeah.
take it. Like, if you have the choice to do that, because I know some of us don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's gonna feel like a time suck if you don't like what you're doing. And we've said that sometimes we don't like what we're doing because we've decided to pursue it as a career, but it's still I think it's still fun. Like if I
It's
think
still
about it
worth our time.
separately, yeah.
It still feels that
It's
way,
not like you're gonna hate it forever. It's just
even
something
if
to
it
adjust
feels
to.
like that sometimes.
Yeah.
It will feel like that sometimes.
There's that on time.
Uh huh.
And back to
Okay.
pros.
Yeah, back to pros. Or yeah, we're just switching. Networking. College is the time to build connections in the field you're in. Because
Yeah.
for once because in high school, you're with different kinds of people and you're friends with different kinds of people. Like
Yeah.
my high school best friend is taking up med tech right now. I know nothing about the medical field, and my other best friend is also, I think she's also so let's just say both of my friends are one person. um they're both trying to get into the medical field, and that's something that is like that's just something I know almost nothing about.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would say I didn't fit in as much with other people because hello, I wanted to be a musician. And yeah, now that I'm in the same setting as these people, I get to build my network. And the thing about
Yeah.
networking in the music industry is like your friends become kind of your business partners. They're more or less the same in the music industry because let's say my band, obviously, we're profiting off of some of our work and gigs, and yes, we're friends, but we also have to like sit down and talk about serious stuff like how we market ourselves and how we
Mm-hmm.
split our money. Do we have a band fund, something like that? So yes, we're friends, but we're also in a business, and that business is us.
In the animation program, it's kind of different. Like we don't discuss things the way you would in terms of like business partnership, but we all are like in this mindset of all these people that I'm seeing, that I'm walking past in the hallways. They're probably gonna be my coworkers someday
Uh huh.
because it's a really small industry, especially here.
Yeah, and how
We're
many
pretty
how many
small.
universities um offer animation? I
I'm not sure.
imagine there's
There's
not
only
a
like a
lot.
handful, and they're
Yeah.
not all gonna be good. Is
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Um. So yeah, there's like it's a different environment in terms of networking in the sense that you know that all these people you're seeing you're gonna be working with, so you want to treat them nicely and all that.
Yeah,
And
even in music, like even if, for example, my friend is does a completely different genre, I know I'm gonna be working with them somehow someday.
yeah,
We're gonna be seeing each other one day. Some of my profs, my dad knows, even like by
yeah, my
pictures.
profs. Well, not my profs in the animation program. My dad knows people from like MMA and
Yeah,
film.
yeah, yeah. So we're all gonna be working together. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
I'm gonna be working with other people who aren't in the music industry also, who did go to
yeah.
college with me and Frankie.
And I'm already kind of working with them in a sense
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
sometimes our profs will contact us for like projects like, hey, are you interested in helping us out with this and with
Yeah.
that, and you are going to be working with them eventually, like
Uh-huh.
for real.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, networking, it's a very big part of art school. It's very useful,
Mhm.
um, if anything. Like if you're thinking of art school in terms of investment, I think networking is gonna be one of the main investments you're making.
Mhm.
Apart from the education portion
Mhm.
of
Mhm.
your education.
Yeah. So,
And on the topic of investment, we have money, and art school costs a lot of money. That's not.
oh, a lot. A
Yeah.
lot, a lot.
When we say it's gonna be an investment, it's not a joke.
Aside from, paying for your tuition fees and the facilities, you're gonna have to shell out some money for materials and
Yeah,
software.
materials is
And
a big thing.
so yeah, I think art school is really really gonna suck the heck out of your pocket.
Yeah, it's really something that is a con no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, but as Frankie was saying, you can go to
You can
you
take a
can
scholarship,
take a scholarship, but
if that's accessible to you.
yeah, and it will be extra work and
Yeah.
fun bragging rights, but don't be that person if it's not if you're
Yeah.
gonna be bragging and it's not towards your friends, that you're just an
Yeah, it doesn't look
asshole.
nice.
It's not. No, that's not how you use your scholarship.
So, when you go to art school, here's another pro, I guess, is you get more guidance in terms of how you should go about doing the thing you want to do. So, there's a lot of people who will give you direction, but as someone who goes to art school, I kind of still lack that, so, that's dependent on the person.
Mm-hmm.
But direction, yeah, that's a pro. There's a lot of people you can ask
Yeah,
for
guidance.
advice from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you go to art school, there's slightly more direction. So that's a pro.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you're not going to art school, there is definitely going to be a lack of direction.
There are also, you were saying the other day that there are gonna be people who don't like being told what to
Oh
do.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if you hate that, maybe,
Maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah, because there are going to be a lot of people telling you what to do or how to do it.
And
They're mostly
yeah,
suggestions, but if it
mostly
comes from your
suggestions.
professor, especially, in music, I have one professor. I had one professor who we all love really. He's mostly everyone's favorite professor.
Mhm.
He kind of makes fun of you if you do something wrong, but
Oh.
in a kind of endearing, sarcastic way. It's
Okay.
his
Okay.
sarcasm that gets us, like, ah, yeah, he was wrong. But then the thing is, we all feel like we know nothing when it comes to him,
Mhm.
and he really is a great musician. And it's that kind of tough love that we needed in first year. That
Yeah.
he makes fun of us every time we do something wrong, and it's not it's not offensive. It's just really funny. So yeah, if you're not into that, don't go to art school.
Or prepare yourself for it.
Yeah. And lastly, this is a pro and a con. Failure is inevitable. On the more positive side, um, failing in college in general isn't a huge setback. The thing is, you're bound to fail. Maybe not in like a subject, because there are people who do graduate on time and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But failing a quiz, failing something, it's, I think, a point of growth.
Yeah.
Um, because I failed a subject, and I took it again, right?
Mhm.
And the thing is, it didn't feel less meaningful. Although I will say that
Mm.
it was like, I already know this, but also keeping in mind that, oh yeah, I failed this course last time. I probably shouldn't be thinking that way, but I think I learned more the second time around, and
Mhm.
I'm almost glad that I retook it, because I know more about that course now. And with the full knowledge, I've already internalized that I'm probably not gonna be graduating with my peers, or I could
Mm.
if I overload my units, which is something I don't want to do. Um,
Yeah, that's not fun.
I know that graduating won't feel less special just because I'm not graduating with the people I entered college with. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah,
So
yeah.
now that I know there's failure to come, at least I know I've tried and done my best. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
yeah, it's not the end of the world. I'm still in art school and with scholarship. So yeah.
Yeah. But on the other hand, if you're a scholar and your terms say you're not allowed to fail, then that's not much of an option.
Yeah, because I know a lot of
Yeah.
scholars, fellow scholars who can't study, as we've mentioned, without the scholarship.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna fail. Oh.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
because you can't.
And
You.
I can't. And
Or I mean, if you do, you kind of just drop out. But like,
yeah, that's me.
yeah.
My backup is I drop out. Yeah, I don't know how to
And
make that
that's not.
positive for you.
No,
That depends on you.
yeah, because Frankie kind of does want to drop out. So
Shh.
that's shh.
Shh. Don't tell anyone. But I think at least where we go, it's sort of forgiving. I know that
Mm-hmm.
there are people who have failed like certain subjects, but they still get to keep their scholarship. They just have to pay for the one
Yeah, yeah,
subject
yeah,
they have to repeat. So I think the world is forgiving
yeah.
sometimes,
Mm-hmm. And I
and
know,
failure does teach you a lot.
yeah, and this goes out to people who've had to bend over backwards to get a scholarship, because I know that other universities don't really offer
Yeah, they're not as
much.
forgiving as where we're going.
And if you do get a scholarship, congratulations. I hope you get to keep it.
Yeah, we hope you get to keep it with as little um, drama as
Yeah, yeah,
possible.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's that on the pros and the cons of how we've experienced art school so
Yep.
far.
So, if you want guidance, you feel you need more discipline, you value your community in art school, and you need to get that whiff of competition as a kind of reality check, like you're assessing where you are with your peers or which level you're at with your peers, then yes, go to art school. If you feel like you need all that and want it, by all means,
Mm-hmm.
admit to your nearest art school.
On the other hand, if you are unwilling to make major compromises with what you want to do or what you want to pursue, or if your destination doesn't require a degree, or if you don't work well under a formal education system, which, not everyone can work under a formal education system, it doesn't apply to everyone, then maybe don't take it. Because, because a lot of creative professions don't require a degree. And if you do need it, go ahead, take it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm.
In short, if you find value in it, yes, go. If you don't need the degree, if you do need the degree, go. If not, and no degree is required, then you don't need to go to art school.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't necessarily make you any better or worse if you don't go.
Yeah, I think it's more like if you don't want to go, then don't try to force yourself to go. Of course, if you need it, then you need it. But
And if you
again,
want it, go for it.
yeah. But if it's really not in your heart to go, that's just not what art is about.
Yeah, in the end, if you're thinking about work and whether or not you'd be hired, really what's more important is your skill and your portfolio, which I know I need to work on more.
The pros and cons.
So that's it on should you go to art school?
Yeah, so and should
Yeah.
you go to art school? Let us know somewhere.
Are you going to art school?
Or email us. I think we should
Yeah.
normalize having conversations via email.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah, right? And
Hit us up. Let's
Yeah.
talk.
so, once again, you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter for updates. You can like our page too. That's at WDGT Podcast. And again, you can send us an email for, talking about anything. So that's wdgt.podcast@gmail.com.
And you can listen to us on SoundCloud and on YouTube. That's where we post our episodes. And we'll see you next week.
See ya. We
hope you enjoyed.
It's always fun to make these episodes, and yeah, I hope you
Fun.
had fun with
It's
us.
fun.
Again, it's a conversation, so converse
Talk to us.
with us.
Converse.
Yeah, talk to us.
Comment.
Yep. Okay, bye.
See you next week.
See ya.